Coverage you can count on. This is KCBD News Channel 11's Daybreak Today.
Now at 6 o'clock, a Lubbock man will learn his sentence today after pleading guilty to murder. Plus, the hold on a controversial Texas immigration law has been extended. We have response from the author of that bill. And new reports show U.S. abortion rates are the highest in more than a decade. A look at contributing factors is just ahead. Today is Tuesday, March 19th. You're watching Daybreak Today. And as always, we're glad to have you with us. Good morning. I'm Angie Wynn.
Good morning. I'm Steve Devine.
Spring is almost here.
It is.
I'm so excited, and it doesn't feel much like spring this morning, though.
Well, it's still quite chilly out there. It's early spring on the 19th, and you can attribute that mainly to it being a leap year. If it wasn't a leap year, we'd already be on the 20th of March here. Here this morning, watching some high clouds drifting overhead. We'll see a bit of that today. So again, a kind of a mix of sun and clouds coming our way this afternoon. Still mostly sunny overall for us. Now, the forecast, well, first those temperatures, courtesy of the Texas Tech Mesonet, we're looking at 30s and 40s. Tech campus coming in at 38, but the airport's still in the mid-40s at this point. So a chill in the air this morning. Temperatures will climb into the 60s this afternoon up here on the Caprock. Most of us in the mid to upper 60s for a high, but a little bit of a breeze will develop. So a little bit stronger than what we had yesterday at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now tomorrow, the first full day of spring, does bring a chance of thunderstorms to the area. So I'll have an update for you here in a few minutes.
Perfect. Thank you, Steve. The punishment phase begins this morning in the trial of a man involved in a deadly shooting at a Lubbock Walmart. 23-year-old Caleb Vasquez pled guilty to murder Monday as a jury was seated for his trial. Those jurors will now determine a sentence which ranges from 5 years to life in prison. He shot and killed 42-year-old Roel Munoz at the Walmart on 4th and Frankfort in December of 2020. Police later captured him at a convenience store near 19th and Avenue A after he tried to steal a car. Tonight, a rare meeting will be held by Lubbock City Council members and county commissioners. Updates on economic development projects, along with several city and county projects, will be given, including updates on the public health department, which is currently under construction. Members will also hear updates on the Ports to Plains corridor, city street and road bonds, and progress on Loop 88. The meeting will begin at 5:30 in council chambers. This morning, the controversial Texas immigration law is on hold indefinitely. Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito extended the pause on Senate Bill 4 while the Supreme Court determines its legality under the Constitution. The Justice Department says immigration is a federal matter, not for the state to decide. However, attorneys for the state of Texas say it has a right to defend itself from invasion of migrants. Lubbock State Senator Charles Perry, author of Senate Bill 4, criticized the High Court's decision. He says the justice's inaction will allow criminal enterprises, drugs, and state's financial burden to continue to flourish unnecessarily. After failed attempts to avoid a prison cell, a former Donald Trump advisor will begin his sentence today. Joshua Ramirez joins us from the News Now desk. And Joshua, what is the next step for Peter Navarro?
Yeah, Angie, well, the next step for Navarro is go to jail, directly to jail. Right now, he is preparing to turn himself in to a federal prison in Miami, to be more exact. He is expected to be in custody by 2 o'clock this afternoon. The former Trump White House advisor was sentenced in September to 4 months in prison for contempt of Congress. Navarro refused to comply with a congressional subpoena for documents and testimony related to the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Yesterday, the Supreme Court rejected a last-minute appeal by Navarro, who is attempting to avoid doing the time. Prosecutors told the Supreme Court his argument of being denied executive privilege was invalid because even if it was granted, it wouldn't have excused his behavior. Angie?
Thank you. The Speaker of the House kicked off what he calls Energy Week in the Permian Basin. Speaker Mike Johnson joined Texas Representative August Pfluger Monday to tour Diamondback Energy drilling rigs in Odessa. They say without oil and gas workers, Americans would not have affordable and reliable energy.
It's a tremendous blessing for us as a nation to have this resource and to have the technology and to be able to explore and use this resource as we are is central to our strength as a nation.
Johnson says this week the House will consider the Protecting American Energy Production Act, along with another bill to decrease fees for oil and gas producers. Former President Trump's attorneys are saying it's impossible to post the $464 million bond for his civil fraud judgment. Trump and his company were fined last month for lying about the value of his assets for financial benefits. Trump's attorneys say insurers will not accept his real estate as collateral to pay the fine. Back-to-back courtroom defeats have now pushed his legal debt north of $500 million. If Trump cannot post bond, New York's Attorney General could start seizing his assets. Across the country this morning, state bans and restrictions seek to decrease the level of abortions, but new reports suggest the increased focus on access might be contributing to a rise. Amy Kiley has more.
A report out today indicates more than 1 million abortions happened last year. That marks the highest rate in over a decade. It's from a sexual and reproductive rights think tank and indicates a 10% climb between 2020 and last year. That's despite the Supreme Court Dobbs decision falling in between. The Guttmacher Institute attributes the jump to a greater focus on increasing access.
We've seen nearly 100% increase in patients coming here from outside of our state.
Given state bans, some patients travel for an abortion, others don't even leave home. A second Guttmacher report posted today indicates medication accounted for almost 2/3 of abortions last year. In some states, the pills are available by mail without visiting a clinic, but that could change. Several physicians are suing the FDA over the abortion drug mifepristone. They allege the agency ignored safeguards when making it easier to get. That case is pending in the Supreme Court, which accepted it last year.
The safety profile on this drug is good, if not better, than when it was originally reviewed.
Meanwhile, abortion battles continue at the state and federal level and on the campaign trail. Here's President Joe Biden speaking yesterday when signing an executive order on women's health.
Those bragging about overturning Roe v. Wade have no clue about the power of women.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
It's 6:06 on your Tuesday. We're checking in once again with Steve Devine for a look at what things look like as you're waking up, maybe just joining us. Steve, good morning.
Good morning. A lot like yesterday, just not quite as cold. Still, it is chilly out there to begin with. Current conditions at the Lubbock Airport, we're looking at mostly fair skies, a few high clouds drifting overhead, 44 degrees right now. Breeze, less than 10 miles per hour. It's a light breeze, but that's enough to put the wind chill at about 40, so dress for a very chilly start here locally. And down the road a piece, out towards the Hobbs area, Zia Park, we are looking at a little bit of cloud cover actually illuminated by the lights of the city, so mostly cloudy sky there right now, 39 degrees. Same wind speed, 7 miles per hour. Wind chill there, 34 degrees. Now that overall picture for us tomorrow, we still have, for today, we still have the weather system out to the west of us, so we're going to see some of that high cloud cover circulated our way, but overall should end up being a mostly sunny day, even with some of those high thin clouds drifting through the area. Tried to be depicted here, if you will, or an attempt to depict it there, those high thin clouds drifting through the area. Now a little bit more of a breeze than what we had yesterday. It'll pick up to about 10 to 20 miles per hour late this morning into the afternoon. Southwesterly direction here will help to push our temperatures above yesterday's levels. 64 yesterday, today at about 68, close to 70 degrees over the far eastern part of the viewing area, the northeastern part of the viewing area. Then overnight temperatures, some 30s in the northwest, otherwise 40s for lows. Lubbock at about 41 degrees. Then looking at scattered thunderstorms tomorrow in the area. So chance of rain at your location. Some of these storms may be on the strong side, and I'll be talking more about that outlook here in just under 10 minutes. And we may still see a few lingering storms in our eastern area primarily on Thursday, with our high temperatures pretty close to the average for this time of year.
Thank you so much, Steve. We'll check in again shortly. But first, it's 6:08. Still to come on Daybreak today. The USDA is predicting a cotton rebound this year. We'll explain why West Texas farmers are leery. Plus, the solar eclipse is happening soon. What some experts are warning as Texans prepare to view it. We have much to talk about this morning. Stay with us. You're watching Daybreak today on KCBD News Channel 11.